Hi, everyone. Welcome. We're going to give others a few minutes to hop on and then we'll get started. For everyone joining now, welcome. We're going to give a few others a minute or two to hop on and then we'll go ahead and get started right around 3:03, 3:05. Okay. Thank you everyone who has joined so far. My name is Yasmin Alfara and I'm a program officer here at the Stanislaus Community Foundation. And I'm here alongside Amanda Hughes, my coworker here at Stanislaus Community Foundation. So we're going to go ahead and kick things off here with the presentation. This is the Stanislaus County Community Benefit Contribution Program info webinar. Okay, a quick overview of what we plan to discuss today. Of course, the grant purpose, overview, award size, as well as partner roles, eligibility requirements. We definitely want to touch on the Youth Empowerment Blueprint. And then we'll share a little bit about Smarter Select, the online platform through which you'll submit your application, our evaluation process, and then some best practices we'd like to share, as well as key dates to take note of. And please do feel free to drop any questions, comments, concerns in the chat. We'll be monitoring and we would love to answer in real time. Should you have any questions, we'll also leave a few minutes at the end of the presentation to answer any questions you might have then. And yes, this will be recorded and uploaded to our website for viewing at a later time. Okay, so the grant purpose. The Community Benefit Contribution Program was developed to provide a mechanism for cannabis businesses in Stan County to give back to the community. In developing this type of program, the county wanted to emphasize support focused on youth and with efforts towards advancing youth empowerment, specifically throughout Stanislaus County. And so like all nonprofits, youth serving orgs were definitely hit hard throughout the pandemic. And so as we have started to emerge, we are excited to be able to share this opportunity for flexible funding that will allow nonprofits and schools to be agile in their operations and focus on capacity building. Okay, so overview and award size. The grant application will officially open on Tuesday, October 4th, and will close on Monday, October 31st. There are $700,000 worth of funds available, with each award being with each award not being able to exceed 50,000. And that doesn't mean you have to apply for 50,000 in full, but that, you can apply for any number underneath that. Okay, so partner roles. There are three main bodies of us kind of supporting this program and grant application. The first of which being us here at the Stanislaus Community Foundation, SCF. So we're managing the grant application process on behalf of Stanislaus County, which includes our info session now, outreach, screening applications, and processing selected individuals. Next, we have the evaluation committee. This consists of a cohort of both community reps and cannabis operators who will review the proposals, score them, and submit the recommendations to the Stanislaus County Chief Executive Office. So the third participant in this grant program is, of course, the Stanislaus County Board of Supervisors, who will ultimately review and approve the grants that we recommend, that are recommended by the evaluation committee. Okay, so to be eligible for funding, grant applicants must meet the following requirements. So this grant is available for both 501c3s and schools serving individuals in Stanislaus County who are focused on youth. And so you are able to have headquarters at a different, in a different county, in a different state, but you will remain eligible so long as you provide services within the borders of Stanislaus County. If your services and what you provide to the community must be geographically located in Stan County. And so in terms of prioritization, grants will be prioritized for nonprofits and or schools based on whether or not they participated in the Stanislaus Youth Empowerment Blueprint process, if they are currently involved in the Stanislaus Youth Empowerment Alliance, and thirdly, they will be prioritized if they demonstrate an organizational commitment to the best practices outlined in the Stanislaus Youth Empowerment Blueprint, which Amanda will touch on right now.
Hi, everyone. I'm so excited to participate in this opportunity to share about the Stanislaus Youth Empowerment Blueprint, which was designed in partnership with the Stanislaus Cradle to Career Partnership over the course of last year. I'm going to drop in the chat for you the actual link to the blueprint so you have access and you can read this in advance of applying for this county contribution grant. But the best practices highlighted in the blueprint are really around building capacity, investing in young leadership and development, advocacy programs for youth that build their youth agency, building the capacity for real systems change. That's examples of youth being involved in decision-making processes, creating space for young people to lead. An example, just thinking about the work that we are doing at the Community Foundation, one program that we put into place over the course of last year is Next Gen on Board, where we're working with Youth Leadership Institute to recruit, train, and place young people on nonprofit boards. So that's an example of what we're talking about around youth empowerment, and they're getting youth development, but they're also in a position of power where they can help inform decisions that impact their lives. So that's just an example. There's a lot of different examples out there. We're looking for opportunities to really amplify and centralize youth voice in policy decisions, and that could play out in a lot of different ways, but we want to elevate that as a best practice. We are also thinking about how do you organize and grow the partnership around the Youth Empowerment Alliance. So really establishing systems change, accountability metrics, thinking about holistically, how do we create more opportunities for young people to lead, and working alongside other partners that are doing aligned work. And we're really looking and trying to amplify best practices and data associated with this work. So really thinking about how you're measuring your impact as an organization as it aligns with elevating youth empowerment in Stanislaus County. So those are just some highlights that are in the report. This report was actually created with young people and youth serving organizations, and you can see all the organizations that were involved in the process over last year. If you were not a part of the blueprint development, or if you're not officially a part of the Alliance, that doesn't mean you can't apply, but we are going to provide extra support in how we evaluate. We are taking that into consideration because we do really want to advance the work of the partners that have helped kind of lift this up as an initiative.
Great, thank you, Amanda. So next we're going to discuss Smarter Select, which is the online grant application platform through which you will be submitting your applications. So again, it's an online platform that allows for nonprofits, amongst others, to create, manage, and evaluate online applications. So once the cycle closes, Smarter Select will notify our evaluators of applications pending their review. Evaluators will then go ahead and read through your applications and score them utilizing the rubric that we have created alongside the county. And so now I'm going to take us over to Smarter Select so we can walk through the application together. So this is the platform, so you can see what it looks like. And this is the application. It's divvied up into 5 different sections, the first of which being your organization and contact information. And so it does allow opportunities. If you do have a fiscal sponsor, you'll go ahead and drop their information in here. And this is pretty standard, your ED issue area mission, your physical address, mailing address, contact info. That is section 1 of 5. The next is simply your grant request. So the total amount of funds you'd like to request of the committee. Section 3 is the proposal narrative. So you can open up these tabs depending on your preference. And we also have about 5 questions here, with some being multi-pronged. And the first of which will focus on your capacity need and how these funds will be used to address that issue, how you plan to utilize them, how you plan to support your services and your organization through these funds. The next question focuses on your core programs and services. So the type, how frequently they're offered, what populations are served, as well as how many you serve annually, and any other pertinent information that would help us understand what it is that you do here in Stan County. The next question has 3 parts to it, and this is focusing on the Stanislaus Youth Empowerment Blueprint. So how you advance the practices outlined in the blueprint, any participation you had in the design process of the blueprint, and finally, if your organization is currently a member of the Stanislaus Youth Empowerment Alliance. And the last question will focus on the evidence that you're able to share about your organizational impact, especially in regard to advancing youth empowerment goals and how you track those goals, how you track and measure success. And so again, really focus on what it is that your entity does, if you're a school or if you're a nonprofit, what you do, where you do it, how you do it. And especially if you can provide any evidence-based data or platforms through which you track your impact, that would be incredible to read through. The 4th section of 5 is the proposal budget. And so here you'll state your organization's fiscal or calendar year budget. And then down here, there's 2 additional sections, one which you'll be able to pull directly from line number 18 of your total expenses, which is from your 990. And then finally, if your organization's operations extend beyond Stan County, if you have different offices, different services happening in different areas, here we'd just like to know what % of the overall operating budget is reserved for specifically for Stan County services. And then the final section is required documents, and the first being your 2021 or most recently filed 990, your prior year's audited or unaudited financial statement, this current year's operating budget, and then a list of support received since January 2022. And these can be uploaded in Word doc or PDF, depending on your preference, but there is no specific formatting requirement here on Smarter Select for those. Okay, so that is a bit of an overview about Smarter Select. This is what the platform will look like. It'll walk you through the different steps. You can toggle back and forth between the pages as you complete the application. And then once you're finished, you will hit submit. Okay. Let me go ahead and get back to our page. So that was Smarter Select. And we did review briefly on Smarter Select what documents you'll need to submit. And just for quick reiteration, the first one being your most recently filed 990 form, the prior year's audited or unaudited financial statement, the current year's operating budget, and a list of support received since January 2020. And this could include major gifts from corporations or foundations, as well as at the state and local, federal level from those agencies as well. Okay, so next is the evaluation rubric. So you've submitted your application on Smarter Select. The application has closed. It's October 31st. It'll then kick over to the evaluation committee. The evaluation committee will be utilizing a rubric that the Stanislaus Community Foundation and the Stanislaus County have developed together to evaluate and score applications based on these 4 priority components. The first one being capacity need. which will account for 20% of the scoring total. And we went over briefly those questions on Smarter Select. So how strongly you demonstrate the need for these funds and how they will be able to support your organization or your school in growing and developing and increasing your reach. Now, the next is Alliance to Youth Empowerment. So this accounts for 40% of the total score that you will receive. And this is, again, as Amanda mentioned, and as we dropped in the chat, you know, Alliance to Youth Empowerment, what the Youth Empowerment Blueprint really focuses on and emphasizes, and what they have prioritized in terms of what youth in Stanislaus County need in order to feel empowered and to advance. The third component is impact on youth empowerment, which accounts for 10%. And so it's how your services and the means through which you provide them to your recipients impact youth empowerment, how they facilitate and catalyze that throughout Stanislaus County. And so finally is financial verification, which is 30% of the scoring goal. And it's those very documents that we reviewed on the previous slide, your 990, any previous assistance provided since January 2022, etc. And so we do have a quick question in the chat. What is your definition of capacity need? So I will offer the mic to Amanda if she'd like to touch base on capacity.
Well, if you could jump back over to the Smarter Select so you can show the question for them and we define it. Perfect. So really, this is supposed to be flexible funding. So if you're already doing youth empowerment work and you just need resources to scale or grow the program, it's really about whatever your financial need. It could support your staff, it could support marketing, it could support outreach. It's really flexible dollars that gets to a capacity challenge to support your program. We're trying to, adhere to kind of a best practice around not putting too much strings on how to utilize the money, but we would like to see the connection to your youth empowerment work, and that it is advancing and elevating the work that you propose to do or that you're already doing. We know that some organizations are starting to build out new programs related to youth empowerment as a result of this blueprint process in partnership with the Alliance. We want to be able to use this funds to help elevate that work. And really, we're trying to assess how much of a need you have for this funding. We know that there's a lot of organizations that would like to apply, so that, we're just trying to get a sense of, do you need the money and how much, and how does this elevate the work of youth empowerment?
Thank you, Amanda. Okay. And great question, by the way, Karen. Okay, and so that is the evaluation rubric. Amanda just dropped the youth empowerment blueprint in the chat, and so this is actually a different link. This is actually directly to the evaluation rubric, and so we will drop this in the chat as well. And you can also find it on our website under the Stanislaus County Community Benefit Contribution Program. We have also hyperlinked the rubric there should you wish to download it, use it as a guide as you're completing the application. Okay, best practices. So these are best practices feedback that we want to share as you complete the application, respond to the questions, and you can use them as somewhat of a guide as you submit the application. So providing clear and concise responses. This doesn't necessarily mean we need essay upon essay, but a few words can have a strong punch if you are able to showcase the need, your impact, and the youth that you're serving. Next, again, demonstrate the need for your services. Why are your services vital to Stanislaus County, and how will the community be impacted? Next is indicate how your org or school will be able to develop or grow capacity and impact through this specific amount of received funds. So what is it about X amount of funds that you're requesting that will be able to catalyze the growth, impact, reach throughout Stanislaus County? And so next, review the Youth Empowerment Blueprint at our website. And Amanda, it is the first link that she did drop. Read it again, and kind of process it. And if you have any questions about it, always feel free to follow up or reach out to any of the contact information listed on that. But that, again, will be a very helpful guide that showcases what the priorities of the county are when it comes to youth empowerment and what its goals are regarding the advancement of this initiative. And so finally, something very technical, but please ensure all of the components of your grant are included at the time of submission, which means all of the documents that we've requested, all of the questions are answered, so that way you have a complete application and you don't get disqualified for having a missing document or a piece of information. Okay, and so next are key dates. So the grant application cycle again opens on Tuesday, October 4th, and it closes on Monday, October 31st. So it'll open at midnight on October 4th, the day of, and it'll close at 5 p.m. on October 31st. The next set of dates to note is the evaluation period. So the evaluation committee will be given approximately 2 weeks to read, process, and score your applications, after which the selection meeting will come together in mid-November to make a final decision and put forward recommended applications, which will then go to the Stanislaus County Chief Executive's office in late November. After that, into early mid-December, the Chief Executive Office of Stan County submits applications for ratification by the Board of Supervisors here at Stan County. And finally, in late December, early January 2023, grantees are notified of who has been selected and funds will be dispersed. And again, this PowerPoint and this recording will also be uploaded onto our website probably tomorrow, potentially the day after. So you can always come back and access this slide, or if you want to take note of the dates we've listed out.
So I see in the questions about the Youth Empowerment Blueprint, who created it and with who. So the Youth Empowerment Blueprint was published a year ago, and it was a partnership, a collaboration of the Stanislaus Cradle to Career Partnership. The process was facilitated by Youth Leadership Institute, and there was over 40 plus organizations in Stanislaus County that participated in the development of the process, and with young people at the table in the development as well.
Thank you, Amanda. Finally, thank you. Thank you for attending the info session. Again, this recording and the PowerPoint will be uploaded to our website, and I have shared my contact information here. You have my direct line as well as my email. If you have any clarifying question, big question, small question, technical question, or qualitative, please do feel free to call or email. We can always talk it out. We can see what it is that you're struggling with or what you'd like feedback on and go from there. However, we can support you with submitting your application is what we'd want to do. And so we'll stay on for a few more minutes. If anyone has any questions or comments, we'll be here. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Debbie. Thank you, Jane. Thank you, Sarah. Let's see here. Okay, let me just make sure that the links get shared to everyone.
Yeah, depending on when you joined, you won't see the links drop prior to that. So we'll go ahead and drop them one more time.
Benazir, I just added it back into the chat. I think I made a mistake when I shared, so there you go. And I'll go ahead and share where to find information on our website as well.
So we received a private question. Do we foresee this becoming a yearly funding opportunity?
At this point in time, this is one-time funding from the community benefit fee that the county has added for cannabis operators in Stanislaus County. They've been collecting this fee for the past 3 years. This is a one-time pool of resources that are going to be allocated to youth serving orgs. I don't anticipate that this particular pool of funding will be available again in the future, but that does not mean that we may not partner again with the county if other opportunities arise to support young people.
Okay, well, thank you everyone so much for attending and joining, for the great questions. Again, this will be uploaded onto our website. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.